support. So not a lot of data to gather, Flowers. 3 quick games, but we'll see if LYON have prepared anything specifically to try and counter what Team Liquid showed yesterday. Meanwhile, Team Liquid get the advantage of, as we said, being warmed up from already playing on this stage.
You want to talk about something specific? LYON specifically saw game 1 yesterday and said, you know what? Josedeodo should not be on Lee Sin. That's the first ban of the draft for them, alongside the Rakan. Over on the other side, Team Liquid going to focus out a couple powerful junglers with the Nocturne and the Jarvan, as well as removing Bard from the pool, as Nefiri is the final ban for LYON. So that means starting off here, Kobe, it's 4 jungle bans and 2 support bans.
And I always like this approach from the side that LYON are on here with second pick, trying to attack specifics of what you just saw Team Liquid use yesterday, because you know Team Liquid invested time in prepping that Lee Sin and that Rakan.
Yeah.
Both of these things, the Rakan and the Lee Sin, used in game number 1 by Team Liquid to great effect. As Dhokla is playing to the crowd, the Lee Sin and the Rakan, if you remember, those are the 2 that won the really big first dragon fight for Team Liquid. They were the playmakers. After Cloud9 had gotten that dragon, it was Jose on the Lee and Core on the Rakan that turned it back around. So the specifics are definitely there. All that's being said, with the target bans, meant that Varus got through, and it means answered here very quickly with the Ezreal. Of course, Karma is up and available, and so we expect the Karma to follow, but we'll see what they end up locking very quickly here. They still could go for the Prow on jungle instead. They're leaving the possibilities here for Team Liquid.
Yeah, we've got the Zhao locked in for the LYON side, wanting to have that in Inspired's hands in the first game. 80 carries, both already selected, like you're talking about. Zhao is another one of those highly played champions from Jose. Jarvan and Lee Sin, also very commonly picked by him. So I'm curious where they're going to want to go on the Team Liquid side, considering Josedeodo was just so important all series long yesterday and has been such a huge component of Team Liquid's success so far this split. Orianna, 100% presence in pick ban. That champion being left open is another one of the costs that you're talking about of all these target bans here in the first phase. So Quid pilots that in game 1.
Okay, so some choices now. You could either answer jungle and pick like a Trundle or something into the Xin, which is a good individual matchup, and then might dissuade LYON from going for a tank. Or, well, there you go. Have that
That's
immediately,
a pretty good guess.
Is their thought as well. The other options, of course, I was going to elaborate on would be going for support early, but it seems they do value that counter pick even further than grabbing an early support here. And you can see there is also value in support counter pick. So let's see if they want to grab the Karma now for the Ezreal, or you can pair Ezreal as well with plenty of other things. You know, Neeko still up and available as well, and those types of engaged supports. But we're going to get the steal away here. They're going to jump on it before Quid can get his hands on an Akali. We'll pick it on the side of LYON. Not only is Saint very good in Akali, but you always want to put pressure on Orianna as far as the side lanes go, as far as the mid lane goes later on. Trying to get some kill pressure on the immobile carries here. So Akali just looks good in general, into Varus, into Orianna.
Yep.
Neither of those 2 carries have escapes or ways to dodge very easily. So Saint is being set up here with some good targets for himself. And since your opponents are already showing that Trundle that we talked about, that does dissuade you a bit from going for the more tanky routes, since whoever is going to be your front line does have a hard time of trying to survive via stats, but you can try and survive via, you know, immunities and stuff like that, like the Zhao ult trying to get the range discrepancy there. And we'll see. The Nautilus being banned out here because LYON don't want to deal with any easier point and click. One of the only things you can do against Akali is get some point and click and get some things that will reveal her in her shroud is another option.
So Poppy banned away, Nautilus banned away, Karma obviously kept away from her good buddy Ezreal down there in the bottom lane. 1 ban left to go for the Team Liquid side. I'm curious if they want to further target support, since we have already had a decent amount of support focus so far in the draft, but no, instead they're going to get rid of the Gnar. They don't want Dhokla to be be able to bring that one to the table.
And that's a pretty good one since Team Liquid are showing the Trundle like we talked about. You don't want to go like full tank stats. And so a Gnar would be a good kind of in between that Lion could go for. So I do like that ban, taking away some of those options. And then Alistar, you can still rely on your ultimate, even if Trundle can steal your tank stats. Can't steal.
Yeah, it's just damage reduction.
Yeah, can't steal your actual damage reduction from your ultimate. So very good option here for Lion to try and work around this Trundle. And it gives you the engage here to try and set up the Akali. Try and put even more pressure on those low mobility carries Team Liquid are wielding.
All right, TL, what's the answer going to be to the Alistar? We know that this champion is not particularly a powerful laner. Generally early on, you're going to have to cede control in that lane. But Neeko is the exact opposite. Neeko can have a lot of pressure in the lane, especially next to something like the Varus. Yeon and CoreJJ will be able to play this bottom side 2v2 from a position of strength.
All right, let's see what the blind pick for top side is going to be with the Gnar banned out. Renekton does look very good here. Not too many hard counter answers available, and going for a like Quinn would be in Dhokla's wheelhouse though. You know, he does like going for some counter pick range tops. So, you know, Morgan goes, you know what? Actually, we're going to blind pick Sion instead. Little bit easier, especially since we're the ones already with the Trundle. We guarantee that we are going to have a stronger front line. Only problem is Akali doesn't really fight front to back. She goes.
She fights dirty.
Yep, she fights dirty. She goes straight to the back line instead.
Okay.
Good answer here, honestly. I do like this answer with the Shen because it gives Akali a dive buddy, and it's a good matchup into other tanks, into Sion. As long as you can get your Q pass-throughs with your Keyblade, get some very good tank trading up there, and you can remain fairly safe. Plus, the block zone is also very good if Trundle ganks you, can deal with the bite as well. So Dhokla classically been very good with weak side rolls as well as with counter pick options. So now he's going to be up on the top side, weak side for both him and Morgan.
And it's kind of like what you were talking about with Alistar. You're up against Trundle, who's going to use Subjugate to steal your traditional defensive capability through armor and MR. Alistar has damage reduction through the Unbreakable Will. Shen has damage elimination through Spirit's Refuge. Those auto attacks aren't going to matter. I think they did a good job kind of sidestepping around the Trundle issue here in the first game. But it's like you said, with Trundle and Sion, that is a big front line. So this Akali with the Shen on top, the Ninja Missile needs to find its target onto those carries because you're not fighting front to back.
Plus, I think it is always a important thing to try and get a good individual matchup or jungle matchup into Inspired, so that you can try and put some pressure there. We'll see if the Trundle does try and play off. I would say specifically bottom lane would be a good place for Jose to play off of. If the Trundle can play off of the Varus and Neeko lane and maybe use that to go for some invades on Inspired and put Inspired under a little bit of pressure, that could be a way for Team Liquid to destabilize the Lion shot calling process or take away some of Inspired's potency.
All right, so loading in here, we've got the Doran's Helm start for both Morgan and Dhokla. The less effective early sustain item compared to the shield, but scales so much better, just gives you the extra health, the extra resistances. And looking down here in the bottom side, nobody's gonna try to do anything super crazy early. Again, I wouldn't expect any sort of really risky early gambits from the Lion side, considering Alistar's early weak lane.
Yep, and should be the Team Liquid duo gaining lane priority here. They're getting some harassment down while they're doing it as well. Isles is fighting for the brush control here, though. Does get the sweeper, and they don't get the last auto onto the ward here.
And you can see on the left side of your screen, this is TL versus Lion in 2026. The series score has favored Lion 3-0 over TL, but the game score 8-4 means that these haven't just been sweeps. These haven't just been stomps favoring Lion. TL has been competitive, but they haven't solved the equation yet.
Yeah, exactly. This one has been fairly close, and that's why I think it's important to examine the game score and the individual game play as well in their series versus Lion. So let's see if they can actually come out ahead this time around. Full best of 5 we're hoping for today. Yesterday it was fairly quick, but on this bottom side. They are getting the pushback here for Berserker and Isles now that Alistar has access to the combo, being level 2, having the options there, and both junglers are pathing down towards that bottom side, so expecting the confrontation there, and then you'll get the fight over the Scuttle Crab. But with the bottom pushing here for Berserker and Isles, feels pretty confident.
Yesterday was a down payment on fun. We had to get the 3-0 done so that we could have the 3-2 one way or the other today. There's nothing quite like silver scrapes in an arena, and I hope that these teams both have everything ready to go today.
I love it. The early call for silver scrapes. We're calling for it at 2 minutes and 40 seconds into game 1.
Yes, I am, Kobe. We had to do a fast 3-0 yesterday, and I want some action back and forth here today as Josedeodo makes his way down into the bottom lane, chasing after Berserker, who tries to get all the way out and does make enough distance. Berserker and Isles surviving the gank there, but not for free. It's the heal from the Alistar, the flash from the Ezreal, but also CoreJJ committing both summoners of his own to try to make it happen.
Exactly. Offensive used summoner spells can be punished just as easily as defensively used ones. But I do kind of like the look, you know, the Trundle here with the pretty quick clear and move down there. Inspired did look for a wraparound, but because they've already started their recalls and backed off here for the TL side, no point in investing extra time because you do need to get back in time for your second clear, your respawn for those Krugs. And so he's going to go for the recall, floor reset up to the top side here. Both of them with the exact same reset and purchase.
Yes, sir. Just a little bit of stats early on with your ruby crystals and long swords. As Inspired clearing out these Krugs. If he tries to make a move towards the top side, obviously you do have a little bit of vision up there, placed down by Morgan. Quid in this mid lane matchup against Saint. You talked a little bit about it in the draft. Obviously, Orianna is a very powerful laner. She is a very powerful team fighter. There's a reason she has so much draft presence, draft priority so far this split. And Akali is the answer because the weakness to Orianna is the side laning. If that pressure is there, especially if Saint can get a kill or two early in some skirmishes, if LYON can force that, it can really create a frustrating and dangerous situation for Quid.
Yeah, when you get access to that Akali ultimate, definitely have to feel the threat of the all-in. Looking for that kill pressure, but both junglers smoothly into their second clears, so nobody dropping any time or anything. Trundle was like a couple seconds ahead of the Xin, which is the basic clear speed last time around, so got the gank off on bottom side, but no problem there for Jose anyway. Still got up there for the top crab after his reset, and so they split very evenly. Saint trying to do a little bit of work here on the trade as he approaches level 6.
Yep, and now that he's ticked that over, Quid is going to have to be very conscious of how much HP he has at any given time for the Akali all-in.
And you're going to have to constantly call the Shen, state, the Shen health, the Shen game state up there, so that you have to be cognizant. Can this Shen really stand united one of the cross-map plays, or does Morgan have him under enough pressure that the Shen would lose a tremendous amount by doing so? Of course, Dhokla does have his teleport still available, as neither of them have gone back to base at all, but they are trading fairly heavily on health, and Morgan is keeping the push with his Sion, so does have the extra little bit of advantage there. Inspired still going to go down, start up this dragon with the first charge of Smite used, so he can get access. And Jose, can they even walk in? I think with the Akali creeping around, Akali had mid priority, so gets to go into the brush there.
Yep, Saint is hanging around the area. Jose is going to approach the river now. Potentially look for an angle onto Saint, who goes for the Shuriken flip instantly to create some distance away from the traffic cone. Immediately pops the smoke and just walks it off. Back in the draft, we were kind of talking about how the Trundle prevents certain enemy champions from working out super well. He duels Xin very effectively early on. However, Akali, one of the best answers into a ball of stats like Trundle is to simply not engage with his stats. So Akali being able to pop that smoke, you just walk away from him. It's very difficult to do a whole lot for her with that Trundle. So easy enough for Saint to walk away from it. As now, once again, he keeps the pressure onto Quid, dashes in for the perfect execution, forces the flash out of the Team Liquid mid laner. Saint's got control in mid.
It's beautiful for Saint because he's also doing a good job tracking enemy jungle. You know, after they did the pass through and just saw the jungle previously for Jose, nobody's going to interrupt him, so he knows that he can go in for the pressure trade onto Orianna, and every time you use your ultimate for the flash is a very good trade, plus you got a large health bar exchange there, so he gets to push the minion wave in too. It's just very, very good stuff here from Saint on the Akali, and it sets you up for the next time that your ult comes up. The perfect execution will be ready. The flash will not for the Orianna. So you can try and, collaborate with some of these plays. Your jungle, maybe your Shen, maybe even your Alistar gets a roam timer up there.
Well, speaking of timers, we have the swap timer here as Yeon and CoreJJ have made their way into the top lane now, and you're going to see the teleport from Morgan taking his position down here in the bottom side of the map with the first Drake already gone. The only objective that's going to be available to fight for here for a little while will be the Void Grubs, and it's Team Liquid who has control over this top lane right now with those about to spawn. CoreJJ walking back up, disguised as Josedeodo, who is coming up towards this topside river right now, passing through mid lane. Saint still no perfect execution cooldown ready just yet, has about 1/4 of that left to go. Jose can start up the Void Grubs. Core and Yeon have so much control over the top side, they can rotate right on down. This should be an easy pickup for Team Liquid.
Yeah, really nice swap from Team Liquid, and getting some time, as we're seeing right now on screen. A cannon minion going into the dirt. Top side was able to get the early pressure, as you're saying, into the Void Grub, so good kind of movement there. Of course, LYON did get that earlier dragon that we had been talking about, so they already had that one in the bag. But TL are doing quite nicely, and Morgan especially is farming up very well. The Soul Furnace here for the Sion with some good CS numbers for himself.
And I always like seeing Team Liquid make these earlier macro movements across the map, deciding how they're going to assign roles, assign positions all over the Rift. You remember back when Team Liquid was the team to beat in the LCS, when they were always the top dogs. The last time they won a championship, spring 2024, it was back in lane swap meta, and Team Liquid was one of the best lane swap teams that there was. They were so effective at it. They were so much better. Their understanding of the macro game was so good, and it felt like it really hit them the hardest when everybody just decided, no more lane swaps, it's dead, it's gone, we're getting rid of it. It was a gut punch to Team Liquid. So seeing them be able to rotate around like that, it's always the TL I like to see.
Yeah, and it's a pivotal point because CoreJJ is still on this team. Yeah, Team Liquid did rebuild a lot of pieces, the whole top side, but CoreJJ and Yeon still on the squad, and CoreJJ is a very pivotal part of a lot of that macro that does go on for this team. A lot of the shot calling. He is a leader. He is a huge veteran of the league, of course, which is in stark comparison to Isles in this series, in this matchup. And although Isles has really done a very good job and overperformed a lot of people's expectations this year, the difference in experience and accolades is very clear between these two supports. Core being such a veteran, but it's been a really nice surprise and story for LYON that Isles has had a lot of success since lock-in playoffs. Here we go, though, with another swap to the top side.
Yep, there's the chains of corruption. Dhokla tries to get away, but the follow-up damage is extreme. The first blood goes over to CoreJJ as Isles teleports up, wants to see if there's anything to grab, but Josedeodo has also arrived to the scene, so LYON won't get anything back, and Team Liquid strike first.
Really nice, another swap for them, and it is successful. It is CoreJJ, the veteran, that actually does get the last hit, last little bit of damage. So, he gets the lion's share of the gold, which isn't ideal, but at least you got the gold.
Yeah, because they killed a guy from LYON. I get that. I like that. MasterCard item power spike right there. The Sunfire Aegis completed from Morgan. This is not a commonly seen item. I feel like Sunfire has greatly fallen out of popularity over the last couple of years, but that's going to be the option here for the extra wave control, the extra push. Dhokla on the Shen, still building towards his Titanic, but since Team Liquid made the play up there in the top side with multiple players, that means that Inspired now sees the opportunity to go after Drake number 2 as it spawns. They've got control over this bottom side river, and he should get this without any issue.
Yeah, I mean, LYON are going to keep getting the dragons, but TL with their swaps have 1,000 gold lead here, plus the first blood kill that CoreJJ was able to get. But also, it's showing up again. We got to keep highlighting Morgan's CS looking very good, and that Sunfire Cape damage does scale with your HP, which Sion, of course, gets a bunch of bonus AP when he does farm really well like this, and the Soul Furnace does do a lot of work, but we're getting another one of these invades where you see CoreJJ linking up with Jose, very well coordinated by TL, getting that deep vision in this side of the map. Quid under attack again. No!
Yep, it's both ninjas going after him at the same time. Dhokla arrives, Quid gets away, a beautiful flash. And Dhokla and Saint are not going to get it done. Quid's shockwave slows him down. He gets out. Yes, it costs him that summoner spell, but that stand united off the table now. And Yeon and CoreJJ are going to use the opportunity to continue mining money off of these top lane plates.
You said it. Great timing there from Quid. Right as the Shen arrives, you know Shen is going to go for that taunt immediately upon arrival. So he flashes it, creates the distance. He survives again. And although they keep burning Quid's flash, they haven't been able to take him down. But here's another look. Berserker under fire, getting poked a lot at this top turret. And Team Liquid, they want that first turret bonus in addition to the first blood bonus. So all this gold focus going for TL. Yes, while LYON have been able to stack their 2 dragons, Team Liquid have had really good calls, really good swaps and plays to get themselves well positioned in this game.
They have got a lot of money right now. CoreJJ up 1,000, Morgan up 1,000, Yeon up 500. The only gold advantage for the LYON side is Inspired. And remember, when we were looking at what the Lounge was talking about at the start of the day, comparing these 2 junglers, Inspired is often someone who's going to be maximizing his pathing. He's going to have a lot of gold just because he's so efficient with his clears, but he is going to have to get involved and try to make something happen here because Kobe, 2,500 gold, 13 minutes into the game is a pretty significant lead.
Yeah, and we'll see how they utilize that when they move them around because they've got plenty of poke damage. Really good at sieging here with the Varus, of course. And with that gold, you're getting your key item completions in. The Proto Belt here for CoreJJ makes the Neeko an intensely aggressive engager. Alistar is usually a really good answer though, and that's why they've drafted it with the headbutt. If you can try and mark that Neeko, find CoreJJ, who is usually very sneaky and hard to keep track of. But if Isles can track him, then Alistar is usually a very good answer. He's this the bouncer of Summoner's Rift. Try and keep that Neeko engage away.
Just toss him right back out of the club. Inspired, also important to note here, because for so long the guaranteed Xin Zhao build was just like, you know, Sundered Sky, standard AD Bruiser stuff. This is the more new age Titanic Hydra into the Dusk and Dawn. This thing does surprising amounts of damage. It can really catch you off guard if you're not ready for it. So now Josedeodo gonna look for Saint. Quid could be the target as CoreJJ with a Pop Blossom just wants to contain the Akali. Back over the wall goes Saint, and Jose is ready for the follow. Saint continuing to try to run, but the Subjugate is on, and they even pass the kill off to Yeon. Team Liquid couldn't be happier with that.
And look at that timer on the Shen stand united too. It's still down from the offensive play they tried to go for. Team Liquid, I feel like they are crispy clean this game so far. 3,000 now, the gold lead for them. They're keeping track of these timers on the windows that they need to go aggressive. They go aggressive. They've been avoiding so far a lot of the LYON offensive plays, and because of it, TL have accrued a very nice mid-game gold lead here, which sets you up to put a stop to the Dragon stacking before it really becomes a problem.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking at. That 1 minute and 5 second timer up there in the top left right now. You let LYON get one more of these, then you kind of have a problem. Then you have to deal with every single possible dragon for the rest of the game being the soul. But I feel like right now, if you show up to that bottom side river with all 5 from Team Liquid and you say, all right, you got to fight us for this, LYON probably doesn't want anything to do with that.
Definitely would be dangerous. TL gonna go ahead and get the objective that's available already. Pick up the Rift Herald before the dragon spawns. Still got 40 seconds to work with there to get down to the other side. They can melt right through this thing, and look at the map right now. So pushed in for LYON. They're just trying to deal with the sideways. So TL have a pretty easy, again, window to go for this objective, pick it up without much of a cost. Akali is about to get up to that bottom side turret, but TL have already made the call. They send Morgan down here, so one minion wave is going to drop to the turret as well as some turret plates to Akali. But we'll see if this Akali can find effect in the team fights later on, can really put that pressure back onto Quid, back onto Yeon, who are going to have their flashes, because Quid's timer on his flash is coming right back up right now. So again, really good timer for them. Orianna now does have the flash back and available. They're going to use the Herald mid first for mid priority flowers. It's a good checklist here for Team Liquid. Again, going straight by the numbers. Shen, though, has pushed in topside and getting turret plate, so doing some work up there. I think that they're going to look for the wraparound. LYON looking to engage.
Yep, Isles is going to lead the charge in, but now Inspired's the first target here from Morgan. Dhokla waiting, seeing if there's an opportunity here for the Sand United. Josedeodo very low, is assassinated now by Saint after securing the Drake. LYON looking for more here in the fight as Berserker puts bullets into Morgan, but the Sion very tanky. LYON still walking away now as Berserker shifts back to a defensive posture.
Yeah, the Akali and the Alistar getting around there into the Dragon to assassinate the enemy jungler, even though Team Liquid do get the Dragon. LYON get one kill for themselves. Still definitely not worth for them as TL continue to push, but here we go. Now the flank.
Yeah, now LYON wants to really try to make that punish. Here comes Saint yet again, throws the 5-point strike into Quid. Yeon and CoreJJ continue to try to disengage. Core make a distance from down. That was beautiful. Quid with the shockwave just lines it up for Yeon to shoot him down.
Holy! Quid is able to hit him with the shockwave into the snipe. Team Liquid, although they do drop a single player there, Jose, after going down at the Dragon, they still keep their eyes on the objective. So here it is. Alistar goes straight in and Saint wrapping around. As you can see, Inspired's on the top side and pops the Xin ult, so he's kind of distracting on the other side, but Shen ult is used. They get their assassination off, and then TL say, fine, we're going to try and peel here. We use our flash to exit. CoreJJ used everything to try and peel. They can still walk it out. Morgan is very healthy, very tanky from how well he has done early in the lane phase. And then with this teleport in for the flank, they're able to get it. Look, you tag the Akali, you see the shadow, the damage of the tag there gets the little effect so you know where he is, and they pull off the shot.
Nice, he popped up, nice, good job. Huge.
All the AoE damage, very effective versus Akali. So they get the damage from CoreJJ, they get the damage from Quid, and then Yeon lands the snipe as well for himself. And so even though, you know, they do drop one person, do the assassination with the double ninja, they still are able to keep their eyes on the prize and keep the gold lead around that 3,000 mark.
And speaking of the prize, remember that Quid was the prize player of the offseason, right? When you were looking at everybody going into 2026, everybody was looking for Quid. There were so many different rumors back and forth. He ends up going over to Team Liquid. He had such a good performance on 100 Thieves, but then for a while, it wasn't quite living up to the hype, this performance, this expectation. But now, since we've gotten to the playoffs especially, he's been doing such a good job. He's been such a big performer for the Team Liquid side. And having the synergy like that, just to have the communication and trust in each other, okay, I'm going to shockwave him as long as you hit him, that just means that Saint teleported in only to lose his own life. And now 3 seconds on the clock until the Baron spawns. It's still Team Liquid 3,000 gold lead, but I don't expect any crazy early Barons unless they can get a pick first, as Saint gets another wave shoved up here in the top side, then has to take his retreat. Remember, Team Liquid has already secured all 3 outer turrets from LYON. LYON have yet to claim a single structure.
And they're kind of creeping around on the top side. Both teams thinking about this allocate. They're teleporting down to bottom, so they're going to double solo lane bottom attack right here. They're going to try and take down this Shen.
Exactly, you go after the Shen because he can't protect himself. Decimating Smash knocks him up into the air. Quid should have more than enough damage to take this guy out. Dhokla tries to go for the taunt, but it ain't gonna work. Dhokla falls, Quid gets the kill.
And then Morgan's gonna have teleport as well as Yeon has teleport here, remember, on the Varus, so they still have the ability to go for the defensive play on the other side of the map. The cost is still gonna be the outer tower, but those outer towers fairly fragile this late into the game, and they hold on to Morgan's teleport and Yeon's teleport, just investing the Orianna there to grab the kill. All the meanwhile, they also get the push in mid, so 2 lanes get pushed out here for TL. Another very good call from them, good play for them. Yeah, they dropped the top tower, but getting turret play on bottom afterwards here for Quid, also quite nice. And Yeon is just quite rich. The entire bottom lane here for Team Liquid, with some very, very healthy leads for themselves.
Yeah, 2-0-1 on that Varus. We talk about how dangerous it can be when you're playing one of these immobile AD carries up against an Akali with a Shen on top, with a Xin Zhao as the enemy jungler. But Yeon's done a great job of positioning aggressively enough to have very high farm, to have this super accelerated economy, but never actually putting himself in danger of getting picked off.
And we'll see how effective his poke damage can be in this game, in this entire series, actually. Teleports right back out, so they're getting here very quickly. Dragon is only 13 seconds away, so double teleports invested for Team Liquid. They just got fresh purchases for both Yeon and Morgan here. Morgan with the Jack show done for Sion, so Morgan is going to be a very tanky boy, and they've got vision control.
Inspired takes a little bit of damage. Nothing crazy though. Morgan going forward through the enemy blue buff jungle, just trying to create a little bit of extra space. CoreJJ does not land Tangle Barbs onto Isles, but some additional poke from the rest of the squad does. The Alistar already down to half.
Okay, so remember they use both teleports, so who's going to go over to catch that top wave? Because top is getting split pushed up to the tower. Shen, Dhokla over there already at the tower, and it's going to be Quid that they do decide to send over. So Dhokla out a little bit, but Team Liquid still. They're able to zone off and now.
Yep, there's some danger for Isles, who immediately has to pop Unbreakable Will just to save himself. Saint looking again for that flank angle, but there's nothing to flank. The fight's already over. Isles can no longer participate, and that wins Team Liquid control over the top side river. They can continue establishing vision, controlling this area, even though they didn't get a kill.
Okay, Team Liquid, Dragon number 2 acquired for themselves. Looking pretty good. Can LYON get a real assassination off on either Quid or Yeon? You know, last time around, getting it onto the jungler inside the Dragon Pit is one thing, but for a team fight, I mean, Quid is already approaching level 16 very quickly. He just ticked his Rod of Ages over, so he's 15, and look at the experience bar, almost 16 for the Orianna level up for level 3 Shockwave. And so if you can't burn the flashes here of the Orianna, of the Varus, then your Akali flanks, even with your Shen stand united on them, might be hard to pull off. Team Liquid, as long as they have flashes available for their carries, their comp is still very, very strong, especially in front to back with their Trundle Sion again being such an incredible front line. Let's see here, though. Jose is going for a little bit of a wrap around. Inspired's looking at him. They still have the control wards here and plenty of vision for TL, but LYON are working around, but they haven't been able to create quite much for themselves.
I don't think LYON have created much of anything at all this game. They managed to grab those first couple of Drakes, sure, but those both came at the cost of Team Liquid being able to get other things with their map rotations.
There they
LYON
go.
now going to make a move to start up this Baron. Zhao does a lot of healing with the Dusk and Dawn build. Baron pretty much doesn't matter for him. So if Team Liquid is not aware that this might be happening, okay, ward over the wall is going to see Inspired. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Inspired just solos this down slowly over time. Berserker over the wall, of course, could have contributed with the Mystic shots. Morgan is going to continue forcing Berserker away. I like the attempt there from LYON, because if Team Liquid was not aware, that could have turned into something pretty sketchy, pretty quick. But TL sniffs it out. Saint still in the enemy jungle prowling around, but doesn't look like he'll find anything here just yet. But no, what I was saying is it felt like Team Liquid have been the ones making the plays, making the calls, deciding what's going to happen and where, and LYON haven't been able to find any counter punches of their own.
Certainly has been the case. See if it continues that way. Next Dragon is 2.5 minutes away. LYON have some time to lie and wait, look for some of these plays. Scryer's Bloom does tag the ward there. Saint still trying to hide, but does get the Orianna ball to check for vision, and now you've got CoreJJ up there too, so looks like Team Liquid have it under control. Jose, though, not showing on bottom, but hovering on this side of the map. They know that with the Baron available, a play would have to be very quick. They've got teleports ready, though, so they could go for a little something here. With a Trundle, of course, the ultimate you can always use to actually go after tanks, but they're going to just give him a little love tap as Morgan deals with the wave. The old smack and a chomp.
Yep, just takes a bite out of him, has to walk back away. Isles goes in there for the headbutt pull, and that forces the flash at a CoreJJ. Pretty big deal, actually, considering Neeko flash can be so powerful in a team fight. Yeon also losing over half his HP there, trading back and forth with Berserker, both AD carry ults, now also off the table, as Inspired and Isles are still hanging around, seeing if there's something they can find here. Isles is spotted on the ward. They're in the brush. Saint off to the left, too.
Okay, CoreJJ with no flash on Neeko is going to be really, really helpful for LYON. That is a big, big part for the surprise engage that comes from Team Liquid. And LYON at least are keeping up their split pushing. Dhokla gets a tower on the bottom side, too. So they are able to get the cross-map play, and they cut the Team Liquid gold back down to 2,000. LYON remaining very calm here, continuing to play their split push, continuing to play their other side of the map, and You saw Berserker go a little bit aggressive there. You know, step one is basically get your spell shield off of Yeon, you know, break that, and then step number two would be trying to get his flash, but they're unable to really get much more after that, so looks like we are going to have the Dragon number 3 set up here. Whichever team gets it will be the third one, and Isles already into a pretty deep flank here with the control ward, as well as his own vision by Tribush. Has some confidence that this is unknown to Team Liquid, but it's not going to be unknown for too long. Let's see, taking away the Blast Cone at the very least.
Perhaps it will be. They haven't gone and spotted out that Alistar here just yet, so Isles will pass back towards that Tribrush, staying on the backside of the Dragon Pit. You can see a teleport coming in now as Team Liquid wants to have everybody ready to participate in this battle. Here we go. Dragon started up. It'll be number 3 for whoever secures it. Morgan arrives here with the extra big shield from the TP. He's just going to lead the charge into the pit. Inspire jumps over the wall. CoreJJ could be in danger. No, he gets himself back away. There's the Pop Blossom, but it only finds Isles, who wants to go forward. It's open. Saint into the back line. Yeon's in trouble with the shockwave, protects him. Saint gets the assassination. Shut down credit for the Akali, but the kills go back the other way. Team Liquid has already lost both bottom laners. Lions finding their fight. The Dusk Dawn Brawlers have found their angle. Josedeodo's about to fall too as Dhokla and Berserker continue fighting. It is a 4-for-2, and LYON roar to life.
They get the flank, they get the assassination, and they take down both Team Liquid carries here. LYON diving under the tower to finish the job, and they will be able to get the third Dragon for themselves, setting up Soul Point.
Beautifully done from LYON.
Neeko has no flash.
So they don't know where I am.
I will find maybe go on Neeko. You can maybe go on Neeko.
Yeah, Neeko no flash, guys. Yeah, Neeko no flash. Really far there, but I'm coming.
Take it slow, take it slow. Okay, we are going.
Varus.
Varus flash. Neeko no.
I can keep Varus.
Go Neeko after, I will block this.
Sorry, over the wall.
Okay. I die, but...
Go from, oh, we are going.
Orianna.
Has flash, I think.
Splash. I'm coming, guys. Okay.
I'm dead now.
Trundle.
Drop.
Can you drop?
He has flash, Sam.
Dragon or Nash?
Dragon.
Break, I think.
Frustration on the face of Spawn in the Team Liquid coaching room, but you saw as soon as LYON said, all right, it's time to go, everybody full sent it. It's those 2 Dusk Dawn Bruisers that I'm talking about, topping the damage charts, and when they dive in on top of Yeon's Varus, Saint uses the execution to dive through him. The Chains of Corruption completely miss, and after that, Varus has no way out.
Yeah, LYON are able to get very easy access to the backline, to the Varus and the Orianna here. Nice moves from them. But first, they started by attacking the Neeko, the CoreJJ, as we mentioned, when he had no flash here, and they are targeting and marking that big AoE ultimate, and they force it out with just the Alistar inside of it. It is a huge win for LYON's side. So, you know, good comms and good targeting from them. As we said, you got to mark that Neeko, goes right after him, and then it opens up, so they're able to get a really good flank and pincer movement onto the Varus, and then chaining it into the Orianna. And they don't let up. You see, as soon as they get a little momentum in the team fight there, they're diving under the tower to finish the job, get themselves Dragon number 3. And now it's a little bit more dangerous here for TL, or a lot more dangerous, because neither carry, in addition to dying, they also both don't have flashes now. So have to be very, very careful when they're even farming waves.
So I think that, oh boy, hold on, we don't have time to think. Quid is getting dove yet again. Defensive shockwave, not enough this time. Josedeodo wants to get one back, but there's no way. LYON have found the pick on the enemy Orianna, and now with that critical carry down, Baron is up, and LYON control the top side river.
Yeah, you have to be so careful. You have no flash here. Low mobility carries, farming side wave, can't even walk through your own jungle because LYON have already infiltrated. They took over the vision, and now with the Baron force, here comes TL. They're going to try and fight him out.
Team Liquid going in. The Baron already down to about 1/3 HP. Saint still on the left flank of the fight. Morgan going to soak a lot of damage here on the front line as the Baron partially resets. Team Liquid staying as a 4-man unit. Saint still staying over the wall. Morgan continuing to be tanky. Inspire jumps over, goes after Josedeodo here a little bit, but it's a lot of damage on to the LYON jungler. Keeping himself protected right now with the Crescent Guard. Inspired still alive, has plenty of HP through the healing. The Guardian Angel also available. CoreJJ here with the Pop Blossom defensively, but again, it's Saint finding the kill on Yeon. Morgan has to flash over the wall just to stay alive, and the Akali is still in the fight. LYON is still on the Baron, and they get the objective, and an extra kill to boot. Isles falls, though, as Quid has made his way back onto the Rift, and Team Liquid looks for more of a punish. You're going to see the recall here from Saint. He doesn't have his teleport to rejoin the fight as the rest of the team has to try to get themselves away. Dhokla eating some damage, flashes over the traffic cone, keeping himself alive for now. Berserker with the assassination. No! The flash out from CoreJJ lets him survive. Now Berserker's got to be careful. The shockwave damage still catches him even through the arcane shift. Now Inspired trying to come and help his AD carry. Quid needs a little more damage, and he finds the ball over the wall. Saint goes on a killing spree as Morgan finally dies. LYON, holy moly, man, what a sequence.
Yeah, Team Liquid, they want to chase him down because they want to eliminate as many of the Baron buffs as they possibly could. They get 3 of them off the Rift, but critically, Saint keeps his. This Akali is insane. The split pushing threat. Look at the Saint flank around the backside. He's looking for the Varus again. He deleted Yeon last time. He knows he doesn't have flash this time, so he went for the flash engage. He hit the E. He got out of CoreJJ's ultimate. It was just beautiful there by Saint on the wraparound. This Akali is destroying Team Liquid. The Baron, they were able to use it to draw Team Liquid in, focus them, and then they get the assassination.
Akali is a pain in the ass.
Yep.
I will try to match.
Every AD carry ever.
Exactly. And remember the last time Yeon even had flash, and Akali just doesn't care. Here we go, though.
Yeah, Inspired could be caught. Josedeodo keeping him locked up. Chains of corruption. Forces at least to stand united, but Isles ready for the counterattack. And here's that Akali yet again. Pop Blossom onto multiple targets. Resurrection at least going to be forced here onto Inspired Zhao. CoreJJ already down. A nice shockwave comes through. A little bit more is not enough as a double kill for Saint. Means this fight is going LYON's way yet again. It will be an ace traded away for nothing as Team Liquid cannot keep up any longer. Morgan finally dies, and the reward is a LYON Ocean Soul.
Team Liquid played the early stages of the game well, but LYON just out-team fight them at every turn now. The Assassins doing their work, good flanks, and good kills, as you say. Not only is it a soul, but they're also going to take over a bunch of tower money. Here's another look. Inspired still has his Guardian Angel, so they're happy to kind of play the fight slow. Look at the mini-map. Akali is walking over, so they're buying time. They have the Shen ultimate now. They make the re-engage. As Akali arrives, Isles went for the headbutt combination. CoreJJ buys a little bit of time with the ulti, but it doesn't matter. They're all here now. The rest of LYON have arrived, and they're going to be able to get the assassination again. You see Saint into the back line. It's ridiculous. It's actually insane. Saint here, the first team all-pro mid laner, now has a death cap on the Akali, and he was murdering the back line of TL before he had the death cap.
And for those of you guys that missed the end-of-day press conference yesterday, one of the questions posed to CoreJJ was, how do you evaluate LYON's style? What are their win conditions? And he thinks for a second, and he says, farm and farm and farm and farm, and then you win. And that's what LYON did this game. I remember back at the 23, 24-minute mark, I was saying, I feel like LYON haven't done anything so far this game, because they hadn't. They were still in the farm and farm and farm phase. And then we get to the fights. We get to that dragon fight that changed the flow of the entire game. That was the pendulum swing where we went from farm and farm and farm to win. And now LYON stand poised with a 7,000 gold lead, with an Ocean Soul, with a gold graph that drops straight from the pretty blue mountains of Team Liquid into a sea of blood. And it's the Akali causing all of that violence.
And it's not like that Akali's the only threat or anything either. Okay, here we go. Now he's under threat.
Yep, he's already used the smoke. Shockwave pulls him back. Subjugate there, but no, again, Dhokla's Stand Uniteds are keeping his team protected anytime they're under threat.
And you have to protect that Akali because he's worth 1,000 gold. He's a fully stacked bounty on him. So TL trying to attack him, and they do get the Stand United out for themselves, but you know, that is kind of a drop in the bucket at this stage in the game.
All right, Team Liquid They were in control for so long, but now it feels almost impossible to navigate these fights to be able to keep your Varus and your Orianna safe against this Akali. Look at the itemization. There is no Guardian Angel. There is no Seeker's Arm Guard. There is no Zhonya's Hourglass on these carries. There's nothing to really protect you from Saint.
And Saint is literally full build. If he could just upgrade that ring into a Medjai Soul Stealer.
Get the book
right now, if he felt like it. And definitely everyone would respect him. So let's see, as they move in, they have easy ways of split pushing. Shen, of course, does not have Stand United, but still has teleport, so no problem for him. And then Saint, of course, you know, he's so far ahead. He's got the intimidation factor, and Akali could pretty much kill anybody, so you got to give respect to that side lane too. Meanwhile, Team Liquid trying to clean their jungle of wards, clean it of some vision. At this stage, they're kind of hoping for the miracle comeback team fight. In order to do that, your step one is get your vision so that you can try and hopefully get some sort of play where you have numbers advantage or catch somebody by surprise within rotation. But LYON have been really locked in here, and it's hard to catch them out because Dhokla's Stand United's coming back up. Berserker is on Ezreal, very mobile, and right now, Isles doing his work to try and keep that vision line up for LYON and keep the extra information available to them so that they can easily continue to hold this line of pressure and wait for the Baron to arrive. All that's left now, they can start it up once again. If Team Liquid come through the jungle, they do have an easy turn here from LYON off of the Baron and right back onto him. You thought he took no damage before, Flowers. Well, he's got an Ocean Soul.
He's got an Ocean Soul and a Death Stance. He's not taking any meaningful damage ever at all. Inspired and Berserker starting up the objective. Saint hanging off to the side. Again, you've got to track the Akali. CoreJJ trying to do just that, but instead he may die. Pop Blossom at least forces the stasis out of Saint. Now protected by the Stand United as they try to burst him down, but Saint is still alive. Dhokla arrives for the two-man taunt as Josedeodo and Morgan have to try to get back even further. Berserker still firing Mystic shots. Saint looking for his re-entry into the fight as the Ocean Soul heals him back up. Morgan tanking here in the front line, very difficult to hurt the Sion, but again, it's LYON not under any real pressure. The Ocean Soul will make sure that unless Team Liquid can find a kill, they won't find anything at all.
Yeah, LYON are very happy if you trade some cooldowns here and make the fight long. They're just able to get lots of value out of the Ocean Soul. Team Liquid, though, they didn't take much damage at all, so they're fine to try and come back and re-engage.
Okay, Isles gonna be focused here at the start. True Shot Barrage comes through there from Berserker as he and Inspired are about to finish the Baron already, and they've got it. Saint goes over the wall. Dhokla absorbing the damage of the carries while Morgan does the same on the left side of the fight. Berserker goes forward. Morgan still under a little bit of pressure, down to about 40% HP now as Inspired jumps in, finds the knock-up with a 3-talon strike, goes defensive with a Crescent Guard. LYON continuing to push forward, but now deciding to pull it off a little bit further. Elder Dragon is in 45 seconds, and LYON wants to be prepared.
Yeah, it looks like they do have bot lane pushing, but going for the resets here after they've acquired the Baron. Gonna go spend a little bit of money first. Let's see about the setup. Okay, immediately teleporting back out. So Saint as well as Isles going back to base first. Quick little pit stop here. Berserker as well gonna go spend. So we have a little bit of time then on the reset here for it. 20 seconds on that Elder Dragon. And Team Liquid, this is your hope, Flowers. You're just hoping some sort of miracle happens in this. Maybe there's some crazy skirmish where the dragon gets low, you can steal it. They still have a very beefy front line, but becomes a little bit more problematic now. Okay, they're going for the split push. Dhokla here, he does have a Stand United, so he's going to go up to the top side, put that extra pressure. It's going to be answered by Yeon, who also has a teleport of his own.
All right. Dhokla applying that top side pressure as Team Liquid know they can't afford to let this Elder Dragon go. This is probably their last chance here in the game. Berserker and Isles posturing aggressively. Inspired wrapping around the side of the plate, but it's Saint who's already gone in. Pressure onto Quid. They've got the Orianna down to 10% HP. Isles is ready to follow it up as Inspired continues the chase. Quid is running for his life as Team Liquid tries to scatter. Morgan stuck in the middle of everybody. Defensive Chains of Corruption will not be able to save the Sion, and Team Liquid is forced away.
Saint is actually a demon. He is an absolute demon here on the Akali. Just putting so much pressure. Quid has no flash now. Got completely chunked out on the Orianna, so he has to go all the way back to base. Yeah, you didn't kill him, but he's no flash and back in the fountain now, so they're starting up the Elder.
Dhokla over the wall. Yeon, 33% HP. Dhokla goes in for the two-man taunt. He finds Quid. Again, the Orianna barely hobbles away, but they cannot fight. Both carries are nearly dead. Berserker already finds the first. Quid's about to be the second. Saint dives in. Saint goes legendary. Elder Dragon is acquired, but Elder Dragon's not even needed. A double kill for Berserker, an ace for LYON, and that'll be the end of game one.
Woo! Okay, well, Saint looking like the devil here, and Team Liquid, they're going down in game number one.
They are going down in game number one, but they were ahead for so very long. It all came down to that critical dragon fight. Once LYON had their items, once LYON farmed it up, LYON were a problem that Team Liquid couldn't solve. They'll take game one.
What an opener. Team Liquid in the early stages of the game, lots of good moves by them, but LYON just take over in these team fights.